Well, it's definitely different in that I've never voiced a teddy bear before, and certainly not dubbing that voice. Like this is the first time I've ever redubbed a foreign film in English language, which was part of the reason why I wanted to do the job. I was like, oh, that's an interesting challenge. I've never done that. Let's go try that. But in a lot of ways, though, I think this movie is very much similar to some of the things I've done in that it's 4-quadrant family entertainment, and I've been really blessed that I've gotten to do a good bit of that and really good stuff in that world. Chuck and Tangled and Shazam and Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Squeakquel, and Teddy's Christmas Now, and Harold and the Purple Crayon that comes out next year. I think I find myself gravitating toward these, or maybe magnetizing them to me, and maybe because I just love people so much, and I really do feel compelled to, if nothing else in my life, bring as much love and joy into the world as I can. And and these movies tend to have thematically, that type of a vibe and that type of a feel. Obviously, I'm always like, I always really want to go play, more like grungy, gritty, adult, kind of characters too. And occasionally I get to do that. But this stuff, listen, I've got 3 nephews. They're growing like weeds. And I've got so many other friends and family that have children. I've been honorary, uncle to for many, many years. And I love that I throughout now my entire career for decades, I keep making movies that children can grow up with. And I think that's really cool. I think it's really special. I know that all of the actors that I grew up with, I still love to this day. I still want to go see their movies. I still root for them. I want, those are formative years. And I think that if we can make a really positive impact in kids' lives through entertainment, then it's just a good service to the world, and hopefully enriching their soul a little bit more, even if it's about a talking teddy bear who's got a little bit of an ego and wants to go see the world and doesn't realize this little girl in front of him is the perfect, person to be his person. So it's all really cool. It depends on the age, right? Like Shazam's got some stuff in there that's a little more, like tween, like or preteen kind of, like sometimes the littlest kids, you need to, for a few moments, it might require a little, earmuffs or eye muffs or whatever. But by and large, I've gotten to do a lot of really good stuff like that. Quite literally, the biggest difference, maybe not the only, but certainly the biggest, is that with an original piece where I'm the original voice, there are far less parameters that are put on me. I have a script, and I have a director and writer and producer and leadership that have certain requirements or needs or asks or guidance or directions that they want me to go in. But outside of that, I get to kind of do what I, feel like I need to do or want to do in order to bring the character to life. You're staying true to the script, but you can kind of play around in there a little bit, and that's fine because they animate to your voice and not the other way around. But when you dub, or this experience with the Teddy's Christmas for me, and traditionally, you go in and you're working with a script that is a translation of what's being said in the movie, but it's also done. It's actually a really incredible. The writer director who did my sessions to do the dubbing, he does this for a living. He'll go and take foreign language films, particularly I think in like Norwegian and German and kind of Scandinavian, that type of world, and he'll rewrite them in English, but do it in a way where it still matches the mouths moving of either, for me, Teddy, which was a little bit easier because with a human, you get lips involved. Like there's a whole other thing. With Teddy, it's more, just a kind of an open and close, but still that's an extra parameter. Like you can't ad-lib a lot. You can't do a lot of different, unless it's in service of matching the lips, right? So we would, that was part of the fun challenge, was trying to find a translation sometimes, because he would do his best, but sometimes it wouldn't line up. And so then we were collaborating and trying to figure out, okay, well, here's what I have to say, or here's the thought of, what Teddy's trying to say, but how do I say it in a worded in a specific way on a specific length of time, because maybe Teddy's mouth is only moving for 5 seconds. Well, that means I've got 5 seconds to perfectly match his mouth and also say all the things we need to say in that sentence. So it was really interesting. That said, we're on the precipice of maybe this not even being a thing that you do anymore. And by that, I mean dubbing. I don't know that dubbing, unless it's like I think when they cast me, for example, I think they needed an English language, voice dub, but they also wanted to stunt cast it a little bit, like put somebody in there that maybe hopefully people go, oh, I like that guy. I know that guy. I'll go see that movie. I hope I bring that value to the movie. But technically speaking, I'm sure you're aware of this. You seem like a pretty bright guy. There's new AI programming where you can record a video of yourself talking in any language, and then you can translate that into any other language. And not only does it translate it in your tone of voice, like it sounds like your voice, but speaking Mandarin or German or Norwegian or, whatever. But it also visually reprograms your lips so that it looks like you're speaking that actual language. Like that technology exists right now. So in fact, when we were doing this movie, I was aware of it, and I even asked them, I was like, have they not thought, not to talk myself out of a job, but I was like, have they thought about, and they're like, no, we want to do it this way. I was like, cool. I mean, by the way, it was a while ago. It was still in its infancy, that technology. Now you can do it on your phone. It's literally on your iPhone. You can do it. Yeah, I don't know, man. We might be coming to the end of the era of dubbing, because now, as an actor, as Zachary Levi, I can do a movie. I could do Shazam, and that movie can be sent anywhere in the world, and they can dub all of our voices, everyone in the cast, just using AI, and then also match our lips so it looks like we speak perfect Mandarin. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Well, It's a Wonderful Life is definitely my favorite. I think it's one of the most important movies, honestly, ever made. I mean, there's a lot of great holiday movies, don't get me wrong, and I like to watch a lot of them. But It's a Wonderful Life is just so magical for so many reasons. First of all, it's one of the first real movies that was about mental health. I mean, it's about, basically trying to tell people the world is better with you in it. And if you're ever thinking about taking your own life, which George Bailey is contemplating doing and almost does, until some other guy, Angel, jumps into the river and keeps him from doing it, and then shows him what his life, what this town, what Bedford Falls, and what all their lives would be like without him. And it's this wake-up call. I mean, actually, what's interesting is, now that I'm thinking about it, Christmas Carol has some elements, not necessarily of mental health, but kind of, because it's also, there's, the three ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, who are showing this guy, hey, here's where your mind's wrong. You don't see how good of a person you used to be, and where everything went wrong, and where you're in your present, and this is what your future looks like, and that changes him into being a better version of himself. So in some ways, it's kind of like a weird therapy. It's ghost therapy. But It's a Wonderful Life to me is, it's so, it's far more recently made anyway. It's a more modern time and relatable, I think, for that reason. And I just think it's an incredibly powerful movie. And it's a movie that, had it not bombed in the box office, it wouldn't actually be on TV all for the last 60 years. Because they thought, the movie, nobody cared about it, so we won't even file a copyright, and it became public domain, and then it ended up on all of the TV stations, and then we all got blessed by it. We all had it. If it was a success in the theaters, then it probably wouldn't be on ABC, NBC, and CBS every year, all holiday season long, and we wouldn't have been so blessed to know this tale. So that's my favorite Christmas movie.